All right. Good evening. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kyra Bell. And yeah, this is Kintertainment. I'm so excited. I have wanted to do this podcast for a really long time. I was supposed to start this podcast let's just take it all the way back, y'all. I had dreams of starting a podcast way back in 2019. So for those of you who don't know me at all, 2019, I'm in grad school. I'm working at the school, like work study. And yeah, I'm in grad school in my second year of grad school. Yes, my second year. Very stressful. So I don't know. I just around that time, I had got introduced to podcasts. I started listening to other podcasts in 2018, 2019. I'm in grad school, and what I have my master's degree in is digital media production. So I'm in production. I'm learning all these cool things about production, and I'm like, I want to start a podcast. Like, that is so me. So I want to do it, but never really just knew what I wanted to talk about. Didn't have any kind of names. Not very well. I'd like to think of myself as not creative, but I kind of am. Sorry, that was so ghetto. But let's pause for a moment. Let me just say this. So if you hear any kind of noise, any kind of echo, I'm so sorry. But in my house, there's no soundproof rooms. My house is on the corner of a very busy street. So you're probably gonna hear cars. Please forgive me. I do not plan on recording this podcast in this space permanently, but as for right now, I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got. Period. So, like I said, back to the story. I've been wanting to start a podcast since 2019, basically. 2020, I had wrote down some names because 2020, pandemic happened, and I'm like, let me get in my bag. I'm at home. Still in grad school, but at home in grad school, I should have plenty of time. Don't know what happened there. 2021, I knew I was going to do it, y'all. I knew I was going to have this podcast, but I'm in my last year of grad school. We're in thesis mode. For those of you who don't know, which this is also a little shameless plug, my thesis was actually a short documentary film called The Heaviest Crown. And yeah, I was busy doing that. Very good documentary, award-winning documentary, if I do say so myself. Those are facts. I'm not just talking. But yeah, I'm really trying not to ramble, but this is who I am. So scatterbrained. But I just wanted to let y'all know, how I got here, because I don't want people to listen and be like, girl, what is this? And I'm gonna let you know what Kintertainment is. I'm gonna break it all down. Because, yeah. Okay, so Kintertainment came up with the name at the beginning of the year. Oh, so we kind of just, yeah. So I just noticed that I said 2021 and then left y'all in 2021. So 2021, yeah, I was filming. I was like, I can't start a podcast right now because I would be too overwhelmed with doing that and filming a documentary. So, but 2021, I at that point, I knew what I wanted to talk about. And it was Black TV and film, because I love watching movies. I love watching TV shows. And I've been like this since I was a little girl. I feel like Black 90s TV shows raised me. UPN, Disney Channel, they helped raise me. They were a part of my upbringing. And we gonna get into it. I think a part of the reason why I'm so nervous and a part of the reason why I'm jumping all over the place is because I just have so much that I want to tell you. But we gonna get into it. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm just excited. I'm nervous. And just stay with me. So yeah, 2021 couldn't do it. 2022, I graduated in 2021 with my master's degree. But, after that, I'm like, I need some money. Like, we need a job. So that was kind of my focus. I was supposed to, be getting in preparation for my podcast all while trying to find a job and do all of this. But I'm not that type of person. I'm really trying to be that type of person to where I do multiple things at one time, but I'm just not. I'm working on myself. 2022, busy working. Always had this podcast in the back of my mind knowing that I need to do it. But at that point, I still didn't have a name for it. And like I said, I was just focused on making money. So here we go, 2023. I remember at my friend's New Year's Eve party, because my friend is very invested in me making this podcast and he really wants me to do it. And shout out to Michael. That is my friend. Like he always asks me, when am I going to put an episode out? And I'm not going to tell him when I put this out. I just want him to see it. And I want him to be happy that I finally did it because I kept telling him, that this was a dream of mine. And I told a couple of my friends, but I just remember him specifically telling me that I need to do it and I need to stop playing and actually get to it because he liked the idea. And then when I told him the name, Kintertainment, he loved the name. He was actually the first person I told the name. But anyways, at his New Year's Eve party, he kind of put me on blast. It was like everybody was talking about their goals for the year and what they plan on doing for the new year. And, I said that I was going to start a podcast and I didn't want to tell nobody the name because I thought it was corny, but it was corny. Oh well. But everybody loved it. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I was like, it's about Black TV and film. Like I just told y'all. And like I said, I just grew up loving TV and film. And in my household, we're very pro-Black. My parents were born in the 60s and 70s. So no, my parents were born in the 50s and 60s. So they were not to say that we didn't watch white TV in this household, but it was a lot of Black TV in this household. And I, for certain, grew up watching a lot of shows that my parents used to watch when they was younger. And I also grew up watching Disney Channel too. But like I said, we're going to get into it. So let's get into it. So yes, the first episode of Kintertainment. Sorry for the long intro, but this whole episode is really an intro. Just telling you, just introducing the podcast. So I had all of these plans of making a trailer and doing all of this and all of this. But as time just kept going by, we're in July of 2023. I was supposed to start this in January. At this point, I don't care what's not together. We putting it out there. Because like I said, this was a dream of mine and I'm done waiting on things to be perfect. The time is now. So here we are. So the other night, Sunday night, today is Thursday. Sunday night, I was watching this TV, well, not a TV show, but it was kind of like a news special. This show called See It Loud. The history of Black TV sitcoms. And it was on CNN. So it was kind of like a news special type thing. And I saw advertising for it on Twitter. This guy named Dollar retweeted it and I follow him. He's funny. But he retweeted it and I saw what he retweeted and I was like, oh, I have to watch that because if you know me, I love TV and film like I just said 20 times. So you don't have to know me because I just said it. But anyways, And I also I love history. I'm a history buff. I'm a history buff. I love history. So when I saw that, I was like, oh yes, I'm tuning in. Period. It might, help me with my podcast, whatever. But literally, y'all, that show, that special, first of all, it made me emotional. Second of all, I just feel like it told my story. I feel like it was just the perfect way to introduce my podcast, because I don't know, I feel like they was just saying everything that I wanted to say, and everything that, I feel like it just showcased all of the reasons why I wanted to start my podcast. So I was like, what better way to introduce the podcast than to just talk about that show? Because that's what I plan on doing with the podcast. So Kintertainment is going to be me doing film reviews, TV show reviews. We're going to be recapping TV shows, films. So make sure you watch said TV shows before you come over here, unless you want spoilers, because hey, if that's what you like, then that's what you like. I still want you to come watch, but I'm just letting you know what's going to be happening here. Recaps, film reviews, TV show reviews, just talking about TV, because I love TV, and film. So that's what we're going to be here doing. And if you, say you don't have a lot of time to watch TV, you can listen to me talk about it, because I'm going to put you in the TV. That's what we're going to be doing over here. I really hope you tune in. I would appreciate it so much. So anyways, back to See It Loud. I was watching it, got emotional. So it started off basically, because the subtitle was the history of TV sitcoms. And they started off reviewing not reviewing, but they just kind of starting off with how Black people started in TV. So they started with talking about how early Black TV shows, we loved them, but they didn't really showcase the Black experience, because on those shows there were only white writers. And then they got into how Diane Carroll, rest in peace, was the first African American woman to be nominated for an Emmy for her show Julia. She starred in the show. I had never heard of the show till I saw, I never heard of Julia till I saw that in the See It Loud show. And I was just like, wow. So I hope that this don't rub nobody the wrong way, but I didn't really know who Diane Carroll was until I watched this other documentary thing on Netflix. I probably had seen her face before, but wasn't really familiar with her. But she was the first Black woman to win an Emmy. But the show Julia also didn't really have any Black writers on it, and she kind of felt away because she felt like she was happy that, she was in that show, because it paved the way for Black people, and it got white people to see Black people in a different light. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think from what the show said, and I could be wrong, don't quote me, but I'm 90% positive that she was a nurse in the show. So it helped show Black people in a different light. But she just kind of felt like she wasn't, it wasn't authentic. And it's because it was white people writing the show and not Black people. So then after that, they kind of went into Sanford and Son. And Sanford and Son was the first show to have Black writers on it. Now, I'm familiar with Sanford and Son. My mama watched Sanford and Son every Saturday morning, and I think she still does to this day. But in my household, this was how it was. It was Saturday mornings. I know when I come downstairs, what's going to be on the TV is Sanford and Son. And then after that, 227. And then after that, Good Times. And, I used to watch it with my mama. But also, what was also happening simultaneously in the Bell household was that ABC 13 showed all of the popular Disney Channel shows on Saturday mornings from like 8 to 12. And I love Disney Channel, so I was like, but I watched both because if you know black people, they gonna run some stuff into the ground. So Sanford and Son 227 Good Times, that was on all day on Saturday. Well, not all day, but at least until like 2, 3 o'clock. Like, I remember it would be like 2 episodes of Sanford and Son, 2 episodes of 227, and maybe and then it was like 8 episodes of Good Times. So I was always definitely tuned in when Good Times came on. So that's just how it went. I remember seeing Jack A. Harry in 227, like, oh, that's Lisa from Sister. And my mama used to say, before Sister, there was 227. And I was just like, of course, because she looks very young. But yes, that's how it happened here. And yeah, so they were just talking about, Sanford and Son, and then they got into the Jeffersons. Oh, the Jeffersons used to also come on Saturdays too. So like the Jeffersons was in there too. But did we know, fun fact, that Jenny Dubois from Good Times, which I believe was Walona from Good Times, sung the theme song to the Jeffersons? And I feel like I found that out when she died. I feel like people were saying that on social media. And when she died, like, they would just find out all these fun facts about her. But again, rest in peace to Jenna Dubois. All of our legends are dying. And it's sad, but at least they're in a better place. So the show just like is discussing like George Jefferson and the Jeffersons, and Ray J is on the show talking about the Jeffersons. Like, they had so many people. They had actors, actresses, and like journalists and TV and film historians all like discussing all of these shows. So Ray J was on there, and he was talking about George Jefferson's walk. And if you know George Jefferson, he used to walk like this or whatever. And dang, I think he did too. Wow, R.I.P. That's 3 people in 10 minutes. I ain't been talking that long and 3 people are dead. Like, we're losing our legends. But anyways, I mean, we can't be here forever. But he was talking about his walk, and I really hope I don't get emotional right now, but I got emotional when he was talking about that because another legend that I've lost recently was my dad. And like around his funeral or at his funeral, people were, just talking about like the kind of presence he had and like how he used to like walk. And I don't know, that just immediately, like, when Ray J was saying that about George Jefferson, it just immediately made me think about my dad. Because, like, my dad did kind of have a walk. It wasn't like George Jefferson's. But, like, he had his own little walk, his own little, And yeah, that was the first time I got emotional. But when I tell you I got emotional all throughout this show, like, it was all throughout the show. Like, but that specific part was the first time that I got emotional. And then they were talking about the wife from the Jeffersons, Wheezy. I think her name on the show is supposed to be Louise, but George called her Wheezy. But the lady who played Wheezy, Isabel Sanford, she was the first and only Black woman, so no other Black woman has won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. So yes, Ms. Weezy Jefferson was the first Black woman, to win an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. And this was in 1981. Okay. And she's the only one. So no Black woman has won this award since 1981. Wow. The Jeffersons was also the first primetime television show to have an interracial couple. interracial couple on it. So the Jeffersons was out here breaking barriers. They was out here doing a thing. And yeah, so then the show went from the Jeffersons to the Cosby Show. So then I started talking about the Cosby Show, and I used to watch the Cosby Show growing up as well. My parents used to watch it as well. I loved the Cosby Show, and I know that, we not really messing with Bill Cosby. I understand. But me personally, I don't want to sound controversial, and I don't want to say anything controversial, but I think that the Cosby Show should still get its flowers. I'm gonna just end the sentence right there. The show itself should get its flowers. I realized that I kind of skipped over some things. So in the episode, after the Jeffersons, they talked about good times and how everybody loved the good times when it came out. Everybody loved the good times, and it was a good time. But not for everybody though. Apparently the Black Panthers had they was protesting, I think, Norman Lear, and I don't know if he's the creator of the show or a writer on the show. I'm not exactly sure, but the Black Panthers was at his throat for some things concerning good times. I know my mama loved good times. I'm pretty sure all my aunties and uncles do too. But I know one of my friends' mamas was she was so mad about good times because they never got out the ghetto. I like good times. I thought it was cool. But that's neither here or there. I know we as a race have our complications with good times. Or not, we have our complications with good times, but some of us may be divided when it comes to good times. But anyways, they went from good times to the Cosby Show. And good times one outlook on the Black family, and the Cosby Show was this other outlook on the Black family. And I was just saying, people found their father figure in Bill Cosby and all that. But like I said before, I had a daddy. I just liked the Cosby Show. I really liked it. I think for me, it was all of the sisters and their brother. Because if you know me, my brother is almost 20 years older than me. So I really just have nobody to be in the house with me around my age. Yeah, Cosby Show. People considered that the pinnacle. And then so after the Cosby Show, of course, they're talking about A Different World, because The Different World was kind of a spin-off of the Cosby Show, because Denise was going off to college. She was going to HBCU, Hillman. And the way that everybody pays the first season of A Different World dust, y'all really do not like that first season of A Different World. And for me, when I was watching it, because I used to watch that show with my mom. She would watch it and I would be watching it with her. But these old shows that I'm talking about, I didn't watch these shows in order. They would just, whatever random episodes was on TV that day, those were the episodes that I saw. Because I'm a 90s baby. These shows came out before I was born. So when it got on Netflix, that's when I was I loved A Different World growing up. So I'm watching it from the beginning to the end. And I asked my best friend, when I would talk to my friends and stuff about it, because I was yeah, I'm watching A Different World. She was Girl, I skipped that first season and I'm just like, what? Like, why would you do that? She was like, it's so boring. And then I think my brother was around when I was talking about, like, when we were talking about that. He was like, yeah, first season was not good. And I was just like, what? And it was like, everybody just was like, when Debbie Allen came on the scene, that's when the show got good, got where it's supposed to be. And the people that were in See It Loud, all the journalists and the TV and film historians and the actresses and actors and all of that, they said the same thing. That was like, the first season wasn't black enough. After the second season is when it like really took off, and I was just like, wow, like. But I sat there and I made sure that I watched that first season because, like, I don't know, I feel like I have a loyalty to shows and like movies. Like, I must watch all the way through. Like, if I fall asleep on a movie, I'm going to pick up where I left off, like, because I just have to, like, even if it's boring, I just have to see it through. Like, okay, and don't kill me because it's not a black show, which we gonna talk about some shows that's not black on here, okay? We're gonna talk about some movies that's not necessarily black, but I'm black. So that's what makes it Kintertainment. Y'all my kinfolk. So that's what makes it Kintertainment, okay? It's coming from my black mouth, so still Kintertainment. But anyways, my point was, Game of Thrones, that first episode, I wasn't feeling it until the very end, like, I mean the last 2 seconds. And that's what made me watch all 8 seasons. Even though the last season was trash, I watched it all the way through. You just gotta see it through. And I had to see A Different World through from the very beginning to the very end. And so yeah, they talked about A Different World. And then after A Different World, let me see what we got. So then after A Different World, they got into it. Like, they got into the 90s and the early 2000s, and that's my era. 1986 was when God Blessed the World with Me. And everything for TV, for black TV in the 90s, it was it. We had Moesha, the Parkers, sister. There's more. I don't know why my mind just went blank. The Steve Harvey Show, the Wayans Brothers, the Jamie Foxx Show. But there's more. There's more. I don't know why my mind is playing tricks on me. But there's more. And I was tuned in. I was there. I was ready. I was front row, front and center. And then early 2000s, we had Girlfriends. My girlfriend. Baby. So yes, this is like when after they talked about A Different World and they like segued into this part of the show, I became alive because these was the shows that I was actively watching. Like, I've seen all the episodes and I've seen them live. Like, I watched these. I remember watching these. Like, I remember running to the TV to watch these shows. 101, early 2000, 101. Like, just oh my God. And all of these shows were like on UPN. Now, I know that it's UPN because people, have said that it's UPN, and this show even said that it was UPN. But I don't remember like when people said, oh yeah, they used to come on UPN, like that like clicked in my brain, but I didn't remember it being called UPN, so somebody said it. Like, I'm thinking it was on BT. But yeah, UPN. I knew all of the shows, but I just didn't remember the network per se. But yes, all of these shows, my era. They were talking about these shows and I just lit up because I think Sister Sister is hands down my favorite 90s show. Like, I just rewatched season 6. Like when I went on a trip in the end of June and I like downloaded some episodes to watch on a flight. So when I went on a trip, when I was on a flight, I was watching those episodes and I had been watching them ever since until the season was over. I rewatched season 6. When Moesha, the Parkers, one-on-one, half and half, sister, all of them got on Netflix. Oh baby, I watched all of those episodes. Season 1, episode 1 to the end of the series. Like, I was just so happy when those came out on streaming services. Because if you, on my Twitter, I was like, literally like, I need Sisters on the streaming service. I need Moesha on the streaming service. Like, I'm gonna go find these tweets and I'm gonna put them, I'm gonna try to put them up here because I was like, I really needed these things to happen. And they happened. The Proud Family? Yes, that's on Disney Plus. Downloaded Disney Plus just so I could rewatch all of those shows. But anyways, on this episode of See It Loud, they started talking about, you know, like the 90s and how that was just a really good time for Black television and Black actors and actresses. And they were saying like how all of these shows were on UPN. And UPN and WB. And I remember WB. I want to say WB is still a channel, but it can't be. It can't be because they then said, so this is why we lost all of these shows, y'all. This is why. Let me give you a secret. If you have not seen See It Loud, I'm finna give you a secret. So the reason why we lost all of those shows is because UPN and the WBs like came together, they collabed, right? And they made the CW. And if y'all watch All American and All American Homecoming, y'all know what the CW is. And Black Lightning, y'all know what the CW is. So like when they said that, I was like, oh, I love the CW. But the CW was like this bigger network. So they had white shows on there, of course, and then that's kind of how we lost all of our Black shows. So like when they said that part, I was like, dang, because I'm looking at the CW how it is now, where I have All American and Homecoming. I used to watch Black Lightning, but I kind of fell off, and I just wasn't feeling it no more. But props to all those actors and actresses, very talented. I loved Black Lightning at one point, but anyways, that's besides the point. I'm rambling. But yeah, when they made the CW, that's when all the Black shows fell off. So that's kind of how we lost UPN and all our beloved shows. But yes, they had everything, even Girlfriends. And so my mama used to watch Girlfriends at night. And I remember, like, I don't know where my daddy was. He was probably in this room that I'm in right now studying at that time while my mama was watching Girlfriends. And I just remember being in the bed with my mama watching Girlfriends. Like, I'm supposed to be asleep and she watching Girlfriends and I'm watching it too in the covers because it was so good. And like when, that was like, when did Girlfriends come out? I'm finna look. Girlfriends, what year did that come out? Because I feel like I was too young to be watching that, but I was watching it. Girlfriends. 2000. So yes, in 2000, I was like 6. I was 5 or 6. So yes, very much too young to be watching it, but I used to watch it. And yeah, I just remember that. And Mara Brock Akil. Okay, Mara Brock. Mara Brock Akil, she was on the show talking about different shows and whatnot. And then when they were talking about girlfriends, you know, they let her talk a little bit. I want to tell Mara Brock Akil. I want to tell Mara Brock Akil that she needs to bring back Love Is. She came out with Love Is not too long ago. I want to say I was out of college when she created that show, like when that show aired, and it was good. It was good. I think it came on OWN. It was so good, and it was only out for one season. I believe somebody said it was too expensive, or nobody would pick it up, something. But I need her to run that back because it was so good. Like Miss Akil, you are so talented. And I need that specifically back in my life ASAP. If you need some help, I have production credits. You know, I'm willing to assist. Just let me know. But yes, love that. And then so after they started talking about girlfriends, they got into a modern TV, like Today TV. They started talking about Insecure. Shout out to Issa. Love Insecure. Like, I remember, so I believe Insecure came out in 2016, I think. And I remember seeing commercials for it. And I was like, I don't know who this girl is. And I was like, but that look like it's gonna be cool. Like, I wanna watch. Watch that first episode and was hooked, baby. And now that's on Netflix and I'm finna go back and watch it. I'm kind of not scared to watch it again, but like there's one part of me that don't want to watch that season that Nathan was on because I cried when Nathan was on the show because I could relate. And I cried. So like, and I don't want to relive that. But I'm still gonna watch it again because Issa is just talent. And rap. Come back out in August. Oh, baby, we're gonna be talking about it. Stay tuned to Kintertainment because we're gonna be talking about rap. Okay. We gonna be talking about it. But yes, love Issa, love Insecure. Like, it's just like it was, of course, relatable for a lot of Black women. And then I was still in college when I watched the show. And that's probably why I should watch it again because they were like in their 30s and I'm about to be 27 next week. And like, I feel like I'm getting closer to their age and I just feel like I would probably be able to relate to it more. And it's just like, you know, like everybody in that show didn't have it all figured out and I don't have it all figured out. So, but that's probably gonna make me cry too. I don't know, but I'm watching it. Like, it's just so relatable. And I feel like it's gonna be even more relatable now because I have friends that are married now. And it's just gonna be, I'm just gonna watch it again because it was good, it was genius, it was perfection. Started talking about Insecure, and then they started talking about Dear White People. And Dear White People, I did watch that. I did love that. So I did not watch the last season of Dear White People. And I think it's because they took too long. Like, I feel like we waited a long time for that final season of Dear White People. And then they said it was a musical. And I love musicals. I really do love musicals. I just feel like that, like, I didn't want to watch that as a musical. Like, I loved it for what it was. And then so I don't know if it was 4 seasons of Dear White People or 5, but whatever season was before the last season, I didn't enjoy it as much as the others. But Logan Browning was discussing Dear White People, and she was saying how, like, Dear White People came out, like, I believe it aired or they started filming let me look at my notes because I wrote down exactly what she said. Oh, she said, Dear White People's last day of filming was on the day of the 2016 presidential election. So you had this show called Dear White People, and if you in 2016, that presidential election was Trump. So you have a show that's coming out, Dear White People, and you know how like Trump was, how the Trump era was. So she was basically saying that she was like scared. And like she thought that Netflix wasn't gonna put it out, and they were like receiving all of these hate comments. And Netflix was like, we see all of this stuff, that all of this hate mail that we getting, but that's just giving us even more ammo to put it out. And I was like, period. Like, don't let these people talk y'all out of a great show. And it was great. And like they put it out. I loved it up until like that third season. But it was good. I loved it. Love Logan Browning since Meet the Browns. Was that the first? Oh no, since the Bratz movie, that was the first thing I saw Logan Browning in. I think the Bratz movie. Love Ashley Blaine Featherston. So beautiful, so talented. I love everybody on that show that I can recall. Yeah, I love them. The nerdy guy, he from Houston. Love him. I don't remember his name, but love him. Yes, I loved it. And up until those last two seasons. But it started like the last day of filming was on the 2016 presidential election. And like the end of Dear White People was at the end of the Trump era. So Dear White People lasted the entire Trump era. And the creator of the show was talking about that on there. And that was just really cool to see, really cool to hear their discourse about that. When I was just looking back at my notes, I saw that I forgot to mention Living Single amongst those 90s shows. I love Living Single. I also watched that on Hulu from the very beginning to the very end. But even before Hulu, I was watching Living Single, just like I was watching Sister, just like I was watching Girlfriends, just like I was watching A Different World. I was watching it all. Loved it then, love it now. Should they reboot it? I don't know. I feel like I don't have a problem with reboots, but if they're not gonna be good, don't waste my time. And if you need some help, call me, cause I have a master's in media production. I know about film production. I know these things. Nah, no, like all of that is facts, but not to toot my own horn. But yeah, call me. And then they started just talking about like the news shows of today. Like they brought up Lena Waithe, and let me tell you something about Lena Waithe. I don't know why, I don't know how, but when I discovered who Lena Waithe was, I was like, I want to be her. Like, she is me and I am her. Not all the way, but like, we're just interested in as far as the film and TV of it all goes, like, we like the same things. Like, when The Chi, so she's the creator of The Chi, she's the creator of 20s, a BET show. I think she was a PA on Girlfriends. I think that's how she got her start in production. She was a PA on Girlfriends. But when The Chi was coming out, she like I saw her press run for The Chi, and I saw her on interviews, and she was basically saying like how she loved watching TV. She used to watch TV with her mama. And I was like, me too. And she was like how she like, you know, like how she got her start, and just telling her story. And I was like, wow, like I want to do that. Like what made me so interested in like wanting to start this podcast and like I'm finna start rambling, but like this is like this moment in the show when like once it got towards the end, like that just made me realize why I needed to talk about this episode of See It Loud as the introduction for this podcast, because it just brought back the whole reason why I wanted to do this in the first place. Like Lena Waithe, like I said, like we're very similar in our interests for TV and film, and I feel like I'm all over the place. I don't know how to explain this, but she just, said she loved it. And like, that's me, like my entire life, like watching this See It Loud episode, like I really felt like I was watching my life, because I grew up as a little girl watching these shows with my mama. Me and my mama used to go to Blockbuster on Fridays and like rent movies, come home, pop some popcorn and watch them. Like, I've loved TV and film since a little girl. Every time I've watched TV, whether it be the news, a TV show, I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be well, at that point, I was like news anchor, but journalist. I want to be a journalist. I want to be an actress. When I was in elementary school, I used to be in the school plays, at church, in the school plays. When I got to high school, in theater, musical theater. I love musicals. Got to college. I wanted to pursue theater in college, but before I even got to college, like in high school, I just knew I was going to a HBCU. And that just brings me back to a different world. Like watching a different world kind of made me want to go to a HBCU. Lena Waithe's production company is called Hillman Grad Productions because she loved a different world. And like watching a different world, like I was like and seeing Sister, like I want my college experience to be Moesha. I want my high school and college experience to be like that. Like I used to watch TV and think that my life was going to be like what it was on TV. And although it's not that great, I still have lived a very great life. But anyways, I wanted to go to a HBCU. Did not end up going to a HBCU because I really wanted to go to Howard, but then I had to be real with myself and was like, girl, you ain't never been that far away from home in your life, so you might want to stay somewhere close. And I wanted to pursue theater. So like Howard was like, the best HBCU for theater based on the research that I did about HBCUs, but didn't want to go that far. One of my theater teachers went to Sam Houston. So I was like, oh, they have a great theater program. I'll go there. It's not too far from home. It's not too close to home. Ended up going to Sam. It wasn't an HBCU, but it was still pretty lit. Like I'm the type of person, I'm going to find my community and I'm going to be immersed in my community. Like when you Black, like as some of these PWIs, and it's really like this at Sam, but like when you Black, like at Sam, you don't go to the white people stuff unless like your friends are white. Like we wasn't at the white people parties and the white people stuff. We was like, we had BSA and they had ASA, and we was with the Black orgs, and we went to the Black parties, and I hung out with Black people. So that's just kind of how it was. I didn't end up pursuing theater, but I did journalism, like Khadijah from Living Single, and who else? What other shout out? Regardless, like everything in my life, I feel like, or not everything in my life, but I just feel like a lot of who I am is from what I've seen, and a lot of what I've seen is based on real world experiences, but a lot of the stuff that I see in TV. So yeah, that episode of See It Loud just kind of like really got me in my feels, because it made me feel like this is my purpose. Like I've been wanting to do this, and then I watched that and it just inspired me to start ASAP and just to talk about this. But I kind of jumped from all over the place, but regardless. But anyways, yeah, from that point on, I had an internship after college. I had an internship, and this is around that same time I'm seeing Lena Waithe on her production run for The Chi. I had an internship at the mayor's office. The and there's like a production, like the mayor's office has his own, the mayor has his own like TV channel, and I was interning with their production, like the TV channel's production team, and they have a studio that people can rent out. So this production company rented out their studio, and I stayed and watched them, and I was like, I want to do this. Like, I want to have experience doing this. And that kind of, like, I was already applying to grad school, but that kind of made me see what I wanted to do in grad school. And then like seeing Lena Waithe at the same time, like she was talking about how she wrote, like how she's created her own shows, how she's written for shows, and I was like, I think I want to do that. Like these are the things I want to do. And so just seeing like on See It Loud, like everybody's name that they interviewed, having TV and film historian under it, journalist under it, like actress, actor, these are all things that I've wanted to do. I've always, like, from a little girl, like I've just always wanted to be on TV. Like, doing what? I don't care, but I want to be on the screen. Like, I want to be seen. I want to be in the atmosphere. That's the whole reason why I started doing production, because I just want to be in the number. I want to be around where this kind of stuff is happening. And yes, I didn't even know there was a job title that said TV and film historian, but I wanted to do it. And so here we are. Like I said, I did my thesis. I produced a short film. I directed, produced, created. I did all of that for it. I did have help. Shout out to my amazing team, all of my amazing friends that helped me with that documentary. But regardless, let me just wrap it up because I'm all over the place now. But seeing See It Loud on CNN made me just be like, okay, all that stuff that you wanted to do for this podcast, like have a trailer, you don't need to do none of that. Like, you need to start today because this is your dream. I was seeing my dreams unfold, I guess, while I was watching that. And so I just had to put this out there. I really hope that y'all enjoyed it. Like, it was just great watching that. You can watch See It Loud on CNN. I don't know, it might be on Hulu, but if you have like on demand, I'm sure you can search for it. They have an episode coming out this Sunday too. It's going to be about comedy shows, so like the like stand-up comedy. So you should watch that. It's going to be like the black stand-up comedians like Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, like everybody. So, I forgot about Martin when it came to 90s TV shows. Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, one day I'm going to sit down and dissect like everything, but I just hope y'all are excited as I am. If you love TV, if you love film, if there's a certain show that you like and you want me to talk about it, or if there's a certain show that you like and I'm talking about it, I really want you to tune in. I really want you to send me your suggestions, because this is what I love to do. Like, I love to talk, and I love to talk about stuff that I love. So we here. This is Kintertainment. I am Kyra Bell. Stay tuned for more. I don't know how often it's going to be right now. I don't know when I'm going to come at you, but I'm going to always let you know when I'm coming at you. If you watching this, you are my kinfolk. I want you to stay tuned. I want you to follow me on Instagram. Well, not me, but you can follow me too. But follow the podcast at Kintertainment Pod. I'm going to create a Facebook page. I haven't created a Facebook page for it, but look out for it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kyra B TV, where this episode will be there. It will also be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find your podcast. Stay tuned, y'all. I love y'all. If you listen this long, I love you. Subscribe, follow, do all of that. I will see you next time. We will have guests. It will be lit. Like, just stay tuned, y'all. I promise you. It's going to be fun. I love y'all.